Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. It was not merely a football match, it was a national humiliation broadcast live from the Estadio Monumental before 85,000 frenzied spectators. On March 25, 2025, Argentina did not just defeat Brazil, they utterly demolished them. This crushing 4-1 defeat would remain etched in the memories of Brazilian fans for a generation. It was no ordinary chapter in their historic rivalry. It was a definitive and powerful statement. It marked Brazil's heaviest defeat in the entire history of World Cup qualifiers. And what was the most harrowing aspect for Brazil? Argentina achieved all this without Lionel Messi. A single question hung in the air of Buenos Aires: could the world champions defeat their greatest rival without their king? The answer came in the form of a goal fest, masterful tactical play, and an unexpected mental collapse. To understand how this disaster unfolded, one must look back. It did not begin at kickoff, it had been brewing for over a year. It started in November 2023 at Rio de Janeiro's Maracana Stadium. That day, thanks to a header from Nicolas Otamendi, Argentina achieved the unthinkable. They handed Brazil their first ever home defeat in World Cup qualifying history, across 64 qualifying matches. Comprising 51 wins and 13 draws, Brazil's home turf had remained an impregnable fortress. Argentina shattered that aura of invincibility. That 1-0 loss was not just a defeat, it was a wound for the nation. The return fixture in Buenos Aires in 2025 offered Brazil a chance for redemption. The stakes were incredibly high. Just before this match, a 0-0 draw between Bolivia and Uruguay had officially secured Argentina's place in the 2026 World Cup. They had already secured qualification and were celebrating. Yet a final test awaited them, restoring their honor against a wounded and desperate opponent. Brazil, on the other hand, was in crisis. They were struggling in the qualifiers, and a defeat could have plunged the Seleção into a dire situation. It was a battle for qualification for one side and a fight for survival for the other. Then, someone decided to add fuel to the fire. Days before the match, Brazilian winger Rafinha made a bold and aggressive declaration during an interview with the legendary Romario. He stated that Brazil would defeat Argentina on and off the pitch if necessary. In the fiercely heated world of South American football, this wasn't merely confidence, it was a direct challenge. It was perceived as an insult to the world champions on their own turf. The news spread like wildfire, transforming an already tense qualifier into a personal feud. Rafinha had provided the Argentine players with all the motivation they needed. From the opening whistle, Argentina played with raw, emotional intensity. The pre-match tension and the fervor of the crowd at the Monumental Stadium created an atmosphere Brazil simply couldn't handle. The match's fate was sealed within the first 12 minutes. The game was barely 4 minutes old. Under Lionel Scaloni's guidance, Argentina began playing with speed and aggression, applying pressure that immediately exposed errors in the Brazilian defense. A loose ball caused chaos inside the box and fell perfectly to Julian Alvarez. He pounced on it instantly and scored a magnificent goal. It was 1-0 in just 4 minutes. The stadium erupted. The Brazilian team looked completely stunned and shattered. They didn't even get a chance to recover. Scaloni's tactics, even without Messi, relied on relentless pressure, and Brazil could not cope with it. The second blow landed just 8 minutes after the first goal. In the 12th minute, Enzo Fernandez scored off a brilliant Argentine attack, making it 2-0. Less than 10% of the match had been played, yet Argentina had already built a massive, almost insurmountable lead. The mission for revenge had already turned into a desperate fight for survival. For a moment, it seemed Brazil might claw their way back into the game. A rare defensive error by Argentina in the 26th minute sparked a glimmer of hope. Matheus Cunha capitalized on the opportunity to make it 2-1. It was a ray of hope, a sign that Brazil's individual talent could still make the difference. Brazilian fans waited with bated breath. However, that goal did not alter the tactical landscape or the flow of the match. Argentina maintained total control, dictating the pace with relentless intensity. Far from signaling a comeback, Brazil's goal felt like nothing more than a brief pause amidst their crushing defeat. Argentina responded swiftly and ruthlessly. Just over 10 minutes after Cunha's goal, the world champions reasserted their dominance. A rapid counter-attack sliced through the Brazilian midfield, delivering the ball to Alexis Mac Allister, who was playing the game of his life. Mac Allister scored to restore Argentina's two-goal cushion, bringing the score to 3-1. Brazil's last shred of hope was shattered. The crowd, the stadium erupted. Argentina thwarted the opponent's counterattack and launched a powerful offensive of their own. The message was clear: there was no way back for the opposition that night. What we were witnessing was more than just a victory. It was a validation of a system. A philosophy that ran deeper than any single player. But which do you find more impressive, Argentina winning the World Cup with Messi, or defeating Brazil so decisively without him? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Leading 3-1 at halftime, the night's most significant lesson became crystal clear: Argentina was excelling even without Lionel Messi. For years, critics had asked, what is Argentina without their star player? Was their success merely the result of one individual's brilliance? That night, they received a resounding answer. This victory marked the ultimate success of the Scalonetta system crafted by manager Lionel Scaloni. It proved that Argentina was no longer a team solely dependent on its superstar. They had become a cohesive, tactical unit where every player understood their role. The team's excellent coordination and structure completely outclassed Brazil. While Argentina played as a unified team, Brazil appeared to be nothing more than a collection of talented individuals. The true hero was the team as a whole. Julian Alvarez led the attack with tremendous energy and scored the crucial opening goal. In midfield, Enzo Fernandez and Alexis Mac Allister operated on a completely different level. Not only did they contribute to or assist in 3 of the 4 goals, but they also maintained dominant possession for the majority of the match. According to some statistics, Argentina held possession for approximately 67% of the game, an astonishing figure against a team like Brazil. This victory was not achieved Messi's absence, it was a triumph of strategy, proving that a new generation is ready to step up and take charge. As the second half progressed, the tension mounted for the Brazilian players. However, their efforts remained disjointed, and Argentina's composed, resolute defense easily thwarted them. The match was already won, yet Argentina had one final, historic blow left to deliver. In the 71st minute, the final blow landed. Substitute Giuliano Simeone scored to make it 4-1. This sealed the defeat, confirming Brazil's heaviest loss in World Cup qualifying history. It marked the first time Argentina had defeated Brazil in both qualifying matches within the same tournament cycle. As the final whistle blew, Argentina erupted in celebration, while Brazil was left in utter despair. This was Argentina's first home victory over Brazil since the 2006 World Cup qualifier in Buenos Aires. For Brazil, the result was catastrophic. The defeat left them in a precarious position on the points table, precipitating a sort of national crisis. Their coach, Dorival Jr., faced immense pressure and was dismissed just days later. Captain Marquinhos described the performance as shameful. Meanwhile, Argentina not only celebrated a historic victory but also cemented their status as the undisputed kings of South America. By crushing their greatest rivals, they demonstrated their credentials as World Cup contenders. As a team, they answered every question and silenced all their critics. That devastating 4-1 defeat on March 25, 2025, was about far more than just 3 points. It was a unique blend of history, rivalry, and tactical brilliance. It was the realization of Brazil's worst nightmare, a saga that had begun a year earlier with their first ever home qualifying loss and was further exacerbated by a misunderstanding involving one of their own players. For Argentina, it stood as the ultimate proof of their tactical success. This proved that Scaloni's approach was truly indomitable, a method capable of delivering a resounding and historic victory even in the absence of the greatest player of all time. It was not merely a win, it was a declaration of dominance that would resonate in South American football for years to come.